It was a common perception at that time that no one would succeed in getting Katherine Hepburn to appear on television. How did you make that happen?
That was a given, yeah.
How did you succeed?
She was asked, someone polite but smart on my staff. Yeah, and I thought, oh, that'll never happen. Nobody ever got Katherine Hepburn. And I went to her house. First, I had a long phone conversation with her that was thrilling but shook me up. She had just come in from sailing over in Connecticut, and she said, well, they tell me I should do this. My friend Irene Selznick says, but and then said she may not. And she said, well, maybe we could do it. I'm not saying we will, but if we do and we don't like it, we'll just burn the tapes, won't we? I thought, how many grand will that be? Blow the tape. It was a great personality display, one of the greatest. And she did such an evil thing to me. As you can see from that, I'm not dressed for the show because she was supposed to come in, the only guest who ever asked to do this, and check the set and see which way to turn and how she'd be sitting and so on, rather meticulous ways. And she did. And I did an immoral thing. I said to my producer, she probably won't do the show. She's going to decide and let us know in a couple days, but let's tape her visit to check the set and tell everybody to be quiet. She's never done TV, so she may not even know what red lights mean on a camera. And they had this wonderful segment, which is also on YouTube. I got away with it. My favorite moment is when she's shoving things around. Oh, it's called Katherine Hepburn Rearranges the Furniture on YouTube. Shoving things around. And there was a kind of wooden fence or something, like, wasn't there? And she said, maybe we could just move this thing. And this stagehand said, well, we'd have to unscrew the whole thing. Don't tell me what's wrong, just fix it.
She was a pistol.
And she pointed out that she had a union card and could do it if she wanted. And she picked it up against all laws. Anyway, she was wonderful. There was a moment you didn't see where I got so easy with, the horrifying moment. She's done all that. You'll sit there. I'll see you Friday. She said, why don't we just do it now? And that's what we did. And it was one of the great funs of my life. She was nervous at the beginning, and that completely relaxed me. Because I thought, I've got poor little Katherine Hepburn in my arms, keep her calm. And then she wouldn't shut up, which was fabulous. At one point, I got so easy and jokey with her, and we got on such a friendly basis. And I said, do you remember seeing me ever? And there was a pause about this long, and she went, no. I'm told I should remember. And she was really struggling a bit. And the audience of people who had sneaked in, we didn't really have a full audience, laughed. And I said, we were in a play together. And she said, really? Only time I've seen Katherine Hepburn hesitate. And I said, yeah, Merchant of Venice, Stratford, Connecticut, summer of 75. 1957. I have dyslexia with numbers. And she's still looking for a clue. And I said, yeah, the Merchant of Venice. You did it that summer. And I was not on stage with you, but I had one line in the play. And to my horror, she said, what was it? The gods that may be smiled on me, and I said, gentlemen, my master Antonio is at his house and desires to speak with you both. Is that how you said it?
Well, that brings up another question. Have you ever been intimidated by any of your guests?
I was intimidated by William F. Buckley, for God's sake. I was sort of in awe of Buckley, as a thing he enjoyed. And it was right in my first or second week. And I had seen him lecture at Yale once and intimidate the audience there. And he had his show firing line. Now, and I don't know what exactly came up that made me say, I'm not familiar with that, whatever it was. And he said, you don't seem to be familiar with anything. And I wanted to say, you prick. And I'd have been correct at that moment because I was new, I was nervous. He could probably see me glancing at my notes, which I was glued to mistakenly. And then we became very good friends in years later. I got him back. I got him back, as they say. On a later show, he came on, and we were friendlier by then. And he said, as Oscar Wilde said, hypocrisy is the compliment that vice pays to virtue. Nobody got it there either. And I said, And I thought, is that Oscar Wilde? But I let it go. Went back home, looked in a book of French quotations. It's La Rochefoucauld, not Oscar Wilde. So I got him back on the show. In the middle, I said, Bill, I know one thing I admire about you is the way you're a stickler for accuracy, and you like your desks to be accurate. You correct them when they make errors. And I just thought you'd love to know that that quote you did on my show was not Oscar Wilde. I hope that doesn't hurt your feelings. The audience clapped, and he said, I thank you. I come here to be educated.
Well, Marlon Brando had an incredible presence on screen and on television, but his voice was unique. Maybe you could say he was kind of a mumbler. He did not have a baritone voice like you or Orson Welles, or a mellifluous voice like John Huston. But when you watched Marlon Brando on screen, you couldn't take your eyes off of him.
Yeah.
Would you care to take a crack at what this almost mystical quality was that Brando possessed?
I would fail the way everybody else has in trying to describe Brando, analyze Brando's fabulous, magical, leopard-like magnetism. An acting teacher in the Yale Drama School, I was not in, but took a course there, and she said, a play came through town years and years ago here at New Haven, and in the middle of the first act, that's why I probably said the word I said. She said, suddenly it was as if a leopard had been let loose as this man walked onto the stage, and everyone got a chill. And when he spoke, it was magical, magnetic. She said, there's never been anybody like him, she said, probably never will be again. For that animal magnetism that was born into him, and his great, great gifts, which in some ways ruined his life and his strange behavior and odd things. But when he turned that on, I think it was Eddie Albert's son, wrote an article once in the Times about Brando, and he said, it's as if they put an angel in him. And it said it very well. Around him, something emanated. And it emanated the night after our show when he said, well, we're down to Chinatown, we went down to Chinatown. This is a long story, I'll make it quick. We went down to Chinatown. By chance, it was now 11 at night. Of course, Chinatown was closed. It was dark. It was like a standing movie set of Chinatown. Some neon. Car pulls up, and paparazzo Rangalella, already ordered to stay away from Mrs. Kennedy, jumped out, and Marlon said, just keep the same expression on your face. I'll get tired of taking the same picture. So we walked for a block with the same expression, and it didn't work. And poor Ron got right beside us as we're walking. Nothing could have convinced me of what was about to happen. And he leaned in and said, want to take those glasses off, Marlon? And Marlon said, what'd you say? He said, you want to take the bam! A shot from the sidewalk that broke Galella's jaw, this far from my face. I'm glad Marlon could see where he was aiming. And he crashed onto the hood of a car, and it was in all the papers, and it was a big event. I saw him at breakfast the next morning. His hand was swollen to the size of a grapefruit, and I tried to get him out of the hotel. I said, "No, I've had this before. I'll have it again." The doctor told me that I saved his life by rushing him to the hospital with a swollen, bloody hand. Oh, I forgot that the night before, we were in the Russian tea room, and a very pretty girl, college age maybe, a little after, in a sort of Coco Chanel combination shirt and blouse that was popular then, just came over to the table and very respectfully said, "Mr. Brando and Mr. Cavett, I'm very fond of both of you, and I will do anything you want me to do. I don't care what it is, wherever you want to go." And I thought, this is the weirdest night of my life.
Thanks for joining us. You know, I can already feel the excitement building for our next Hollywood Media Professional Celebrity Showcase.